Getting to know myself as a woman has been the biggest gift of my life. It is my whole life, really. The gift of knowing what it's like to cycle through the days and the weeks, each cycle, the months, the years, each season of my life. Every month I get to experience new beginnings and the creative force that flows through me, especially in my inner spring, as I approach mid-cycle. As I approach ovulation, the desire to be with friends, to sing, to laugh, to dance, to really enjoy with the fullness of my being the experience of what it is to be a human woman on this planet Earth. Yeah, it erupts from me and I feel so free and seductive and magnetic and alive, and I hum and I glow and I can go and go and I can run with my feet and I can run into the wind and everything feels good. Yeah, and it's really seductive, the energy that flows through me at that part in the cycle. And I know a lot of women feel it, and a large part of it is actually being an animal and being designed that way. But if you tap into the connections of it, then it can be really potent. And then there's a lapse, a transition after that, a few days. Sometimes this time can feel like no man's land, but I know many women have been here before me. And then it happens, and I start to wind down, I start to slow down. I feel like this sense of being at altitude and experiencing a lack of oxygen, and my body is busy, and my body gets busy, and I start to slow it down. I start to go within. I stop seeing friends as much. I start to withdraw, and as I slow my body down, my mind gets busy, and flurries and windstorms and volcanoes erupt, and I can feel really chaotic and sad and not know what's going on. And during this time, premenstrual, I react and I demand and I stand for myself a lot when at other times potentially I wouldn't. And I really like my sense of boundaries at this time, actually, and the way that it shows me everything I need to deal with. And if I don't, then the next month it's just going to show up again and again and again and again. And I find it really interesting how people react sometimes when I enforce my boundaries at this time, just as a reflection of the cultural narrative, I suppose. But yeah, and then I start to descend even further, and I go whoomph again, and I enter the cave, the dark, the wet, the silence, no energy for anything but rest, the need to nap, to tend to myself in my lady cave, where no man dares to go, lest you bring a cup of tea. And I love this time of my cycle, and it's taken me a while to learn this part of my cycle, but I get to stop, I get to be an animal, I get to be a mammal, and resting is a choice, but it's also respect and love. It's walking slowly, it's stopping exercise for me, it's rubbing my belly, it's enjoying the sweetness and the slowness of life and taking everything in one at a time. And maybe it's a cat on the street. And then I start to claw my way back out of the cave, and at this time it can feel like I've been reborn, and I feel excited internally and feel mentally raring to go, but still keeping in mind that I need to go slow. It's still early days. There's time to build up the energy day by day. And then the cycle begins again, and my cogs begin to whir, and I start to want to exercise again and move my body, and I start the process of preparing to birth something new for myself, for the world. Perhaps it's a song that I've learnt from the birds, perhaps a creative project, perhaps just going out into the park and building mandala, but whatever it is, you know, you start to feel that slow build of that beautiful energy, and it's gradual and it happens all at once. And yeah, it's a beautiful paradox, and I honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love cycling through my life as a woman, and I know that it won't always be this way, what with menopause or pregnancy or, you know, all the types of things that happen, but I'm grateful for my cycle, and I'm grateful for myself as a woman, and I hope that potentially you can love yourself like that.